Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in again today. This is my staff of carburetor, as I call it. It's a water manometer for balancing or synchronizing, fine-tuning the balance and synchronization on Rotac's two-stroke engines. It is extremely accurate. It was not very expensive to make. So I want to go over today how I made it and show you all the parts that go into it. And if you like, maybe you can make one for your own airplane toolkit, and you'll see how great this actually works as for fine tuning. Now, you still need to do the basic mechanical adjustments. So that video that I have with the adjust your carburetor with a pencil, you might want to check out that one first. So after you have your carburetors mechanically synchronized, then to fine tune it, this is the tool that you need. So let's carry on, and we're actually going to make one. The material for this project starts out with this economy strapping, and it's 1 inch by 3 inches by 96, or 8 feet, of course. Next, what we'll need is, and this is the way it's listed on the label, 1700 inches inside diameter, 1/4 inch outside diameter, and it's 20 feet. It's on a roll. This must be 20 feet long. So let me bring this up here. I bought all of this at Home Depot. Here is the label. Where are we? There we go. That shows well. So this is the label for the correct tubing. And we can do this again, and this is the one that was right off of the piece of economy strapping. Coax cable nail-in clips. So this is the ones that I bought right here. It was a 20-pack. And again, they all came from Home Depot. Then we need a jar lid, 1.5 inches, or maybe a little smaller, 1.25 inches. And then an aquarium valve. So we actually need 2 aquarium valves. So we need 2 of these. 1 of those, 1 roll, 1 package of those, and 1 jar lid. Okay, so this one here is, this valve would find it like on the back of an aquarium or something, or that. So maybe available from a pet store. I might have got these maybe online from Amazon. I'm not sure. As far as tools, well, we need a tape measure. We need some kind of a hammer, a marking, like a magic marker. We're going to need a saw. And I was thinking of using this one, but the power cord is missing, so I'll have to find something else to use. A syringe, which came from the veterinary department of Princess Auto. And distilled water, we should only fill this with distilled water. And we should have a square, because when we cut the end of, when we do the cut on our piece of strap, we should have like a nice square joint. Might as well make this. It's a real high dollar tool, so we might as well have it looking nice. So we need to install our jam jar lid, but we don't want to put it right at the bottom. We should come up a couple of inches. So let me mark 2 inches. I'll just put a little dot here with my marker at 2 inches. Right there. So there's 2 inches from the bottom. And then that's going to be the bottom edge of our lid. I just marked the center, as you can see. And now, supreme accuracy is not really required for here, but you do need something at the bottom. So there we go, and I should have picked a screw that was, yes, doesn't come through the other side, nice. So that part is done. Now we have to cut the overall length of it down because 8 feet is too long. Now the length of the tubing that we put onto the staff of carburetor is critical. So we've got the tape right here, as you can see, hooked on the bottom of the jam jar lid. And I'm going to come up to this end, and at 80 inches, I'm going to make a dot. So 80 inches, that's where I'm going to make my line with my square. And I'm gonna go with 80 inches. Whoop, there we go. There. So now that my cut is complete, and I did do it with the handsaw, I've used a little paper, a little sandpaper on the edge and made it all nice and smooth. Next thing we want to do is we want to mark another line on this before we put the tubing on. So the tape measure is in the same starting position as before, and we'll come down here, and we want to make a line on here. And we want to go at 39 and 3/8 of an inch. So I'll just make a dot right there. So 39 and 3/8 of an inch. We're going to make a mark there. Then we use the square, and it's very important to use the square when you do this line, because this is going to be our reference line that we'll be using when we take our readings. I'm going to get a sharper marker than that so it makes a better line. Alright, I'm back with a nice, it doesn't have a very good tail. Well, it's better than one I had. Let's see how this works. So take your time when you do this and get it right. Make sure that it's nice and square. There's a nice permanent black line. That's what I wanted. Now I just trimmed the end of the tubing so that it was nice and straight and square, and I'm going to put a little bit of WD on the fitting because it's just going to make it go on better, or you can lick it, I guess, if you want. And then let's get this on there. So there we go, that's the first one. So we're going to fasten that at the top, and we'll move down through and assemble this. So I've got my little coaxial cable clip on there, trying to end up with it so there's a center line, just because it'll look nicer. And so that one is fastened. And I'm going to go and take the line and go all the way down and go around the jam jar lid. Maybe I should have taken this out and let it lay out flat first. It would have been a good idea, because it's a little, it still thinks it's rolled up. So I'm going to let it sit for a little while and straighten itself out. So now I had this just sitting on the roof of the car out in the sunshine, and this has relaxed the tubing much more after having a little heat in it for, I don't know, about 15 minutes. So we'll put those clips on. The important thing with the clips is, here's our center line where we're actually going to view the water up and down to do our work. So we don't want to have any of the clips in the way. So I go 6 inches and 6 inches. So this whole area in here is nice and free to view from. Then when we move along down to the jam jar lid, this will be on a little bit of an angle, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to very gently just give it a little tug, and that'll make this all beautiful and straight. And now we'll come around and I'll go up this side here with the rest of the clips. So on my way back up to this to the top, I've been working the line a little bit just to pull it a little teeny bit just to get any of the wrinkles out of it. And now I'm going to, before I put this last clip in, I'm going to mark it right here, and then I'll cut it, I'll put the valve on, and then I'll install the clip. So now I've cut that off and put my other valve in. Then I have this much tubing left. I'm just going to take it by the ends and run it and fold it completely in half and cut it in the middle. So I have two perfectly equal length pieces, and that's the parts that go on next. Wonderful. Now's the time we're going to fill this up with distilled water. Just plain distilled water. I put coloring in it one time and it didn't work the same way. So it has to have just plain ordinary water. I mean, it's called a water manometer, not a colored water manometer. If you put transmission fluid in it, you put some other kind of oil in it or something, it is never going to work right. So it must have distilled water, period, nothing else. So let's go and get to it and fill it up. What I'm going to do now is this valve is open already. This valve now is open. And I'll put it on the end of the syringe. I'm going to hold this up higher, you won't be able to see it, and put the distilled water inside. And it should run down freely, is the idea. There we go. And might give it a little teeny bit of a blow with the syringe, just with air in it. Okay, so now let's move the camera and see where we ended up filled to. This is the least fun part of this whole project, is getting it full. So I've put it in that hose, and now I'm just taking the end of that single hose and just put it in my mouth and just suck and blow and work this back and forth, because we have to have all these air bubbles out. So I'm making it come up right up to the top. I'm not losing any water. I'm not drinking any water. And that's probably about as good as I'm going to get it right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bump it again. Or you could just leave it set. I mean, if you had enough fabricating for the day, you could just leave it set with the valves open and come back tomorrow morning, and all the air is probably going to be out of it. See, all the bubbles are coming up right now, just bumping it. One way that we can use the valves here to make it easier to introduce the distilled water is, I'll just take this end in my mouth and I'll suck, and I'll see the water come up, and when I get up near the top, then I'll close the valve. So that's there. Now I can take a little bit more water, and as soon as I open the valve, it's just going to suck it right in. So it goes down all by itself. So I'm trying to get it really close to the line right now. So I'm going to take the syringe off, and I'm going to open the line again. And then see where we're at as far as the level goes. And now it won't go to level right now, because see, there's water in this part of the hose, so it won't work. So after you add some, you need to take this hose off and let it find its level. So once you're happy with your level, like, of course it's standing straight up now, and we can see the liquid easily. I can see it easily here. It's so close to the line, I'm happy with that. Any bubbles that are above here will affect the way it operates. So what we'll have to do now is just leave it sit, because there's still little teeny droplets on the inside of the hose, the tube right here, and I want those to go away. So at this point, I'm going to leave it, and I'll just come back tomorrow and it'll be just perfect. Now I'm not going to wait until tomorrow, but like I said, you should leave it overnight. You can see the little droplets in here. They'll all come down to the bottom. It's important that the water is down in the bottom part and there isn't any water up here at all. If there's like a bubble or something in here, it won't read correctly. Now I'm satisfied that all of the air little bubbles and things and the little droplets are gone. I'll close the valves, and this is why the valves are here, because now I can leave this sit for a long time and the water won't evaporate because it's not open to the atmosphere. So now we'll put our lines on the top and get these ones on here. Now the only other thing I do is I put a little black tie strap on here so that I can tell which carburetor is reading on which side. So I'm going to go with the left side hose, and somewhere where it's a little bit of ways away from the carburetor, I always put this on the carburetor that's closest to me where I can easily see it. So in other words, it would be the mag carburetor, and I don't do it up too tight, just enough that it stays. Cut that with the flush cutter. Then this was this one right here. So then I will put a tie strap on here so I know that the reading on this line, this tube here, is the reading that I'm getting from the mag carburetor. Hopefully now you have your own staff of carburetor. This one will be a draw prize at the upcoming annual UPAC meeting that'll be held on the third Saturday in August. What's UPAC? UPAC stands for the Ultralight Pilots Association of Canada. You might want to check them out. It's all about grassroots flying. So if you can support them, that would be fantastic. Thanks for your time today. Like, share, subscribe, all those other things. Happy flying. See you again. Bye now.